Hi, I'm Steve Carell, and these are 5 of my favorite villains. My first favorite villain is the shark from Jaws. That shark was just this character, an eating machine, no thought, no empathy, and completely terrifying. The shark from Jaws inspires the character of Gru in the eyes, because sharks are known for having extremely non-expressive eyes. And there are moments where Gru sort of goes into that dead shark eye look, and it's terrifying. I remember going to a theater, and I grew up in Massachusetts, and Jaws was shot on an island off of Massachusetts in Martha's Vineyard. And I remember that summer we went to Martha's Vineyard on family vacation, and I never went in the ocean again. I think that it had that effect on a lot of people. The design and look, in modern terms, not so great. You see a lot of the flaws in the technical aspects of the shark itself. But that suspension of disbelief as a child, and really everybody just bought into it. And apparently the shark was always breaking down. And so they had to cut a lot of the visuals of the shark out and just have the air containers, whatever those were, that indicated that the shark was nearby, those yellow tanks, and that built the tension. So I think it was almost what you didn't see of the shark, which made it even more insidious. I think my favorite line was, "Oh! Oh! Oh!" So I thought that was a pretty good one. Second favorite villain is the mayor from the movie Jaws, because he did not close down the beaches, and he jeopardized a lot of people's health and well-being. And so I think the mayor from Amity was a villain and kind of a jerk, because he really just cared about making money on the 4th of July weekend. Come on, man. There's a shark in the water. Don't do that to people. I think my favorite scene with the mayor from Jaws was when he said, "I'm not shutting down this beach no matter what." Words to that effect. I don't know if that's exactly the dialogue, but it was basically that. What did I like about the aesthetic of the mayor from Jaws? Well, I don't know if it was I don't know if it was an aesthetic per se, but he gave off a tone of arrogance and entitlement, and he too had sort of those dead eyes, much like the shark, because for him, it was all about revenue. And what is worse than that, besides just being an eating machine? I don't think he's pure evil, but I think there's conflict in him as a character, because he wants to do what's right. Obviously, he cares about the town. He cared enough to run for mayor. But I think over time, and this is backstory that's never talked about, never discussed, probably invented in my own imagination. But he started as a young politician in Amityville, and he's reached the pinnacle. And now he's a little overconfident, and now he just sees dollar signs. So I think, in effect, the whole movie Jaws is about the transition and sort of the coming to a dark side for that one character. Or it not that at all. The impact of Jaws? Well, I know the impact that it had on me is literally I didn't want to go swimming in the ocean ever again. And I still think about it. That opening sequence when the woman is swimming at night, no way. There's no way that would ever happen. And I shot a movie where I had to be out on a surfboard, and I was a little scared. We were in Northern California, but I kind of put it out of my mind. Spent the day out on a surfboard shooting these scenes. And then they pulled us into the Zodiac, this pontoon boat at the end of shooting. And the guy driving it said, "Hey, did you see any sharks out there?" And I was laughing, like I thought he was joking. He said, no, really, like around the bay, that is a shark breeding ground. So this area is known to have had a lot of shark attacks. And they didn't show me the sign at the foot of the beach. There's a sign that has a big shark on it, and it says no swimming. So I'm glad I didn't know that until the end of the day. I would have been even more terrified than I was. So I think it had a societal impact in the sense that it scared people from. I know it did in Massachusetts, and it's certainly in Martha's Vineyard. I think the swimming, at least for a few summers, it took a back seat. Quint from Jaws, because Quint he's sort of an anti-hero, but I would see him as a villain because he brings Sheriff Brody and Hooper out on the boat, and then he scuttles it, so they're stuck out there because he's got this vendetta against this shark. So it's him and the shark. Like, dude, you don't have to bring these other two out there to die with you. So that I think there's a little villainy in him as well. And again, I think a lot of it, like the mayor, comes from hubris. It's about him. It's about him being so self-centered that he has to have his moment with the shark. But he potentially brings two other humans down with him. I think people misunderstand his accent. Because, like, that guy did not grow up in Amityville. He has his thing. Like, I don't know what it is. Is it Maine? Is he Welsh? I don't know. I don't know where that character is from. And I think I think that therein lies a misconception with Quint. Quint getting eaten. I think just overall, that scene in the film is my favorite because it happens very slowly as shark attacks go, and it's incredibly graphic. The shark is leaning on the back of the boat, just doing that with his mouth, and Quint just slides down in, and he's got a like a hatchet with him or a big machete, and he's trying to chop up the shark. That's not going to work. It's a good scene. My fourth favorite villain is Hannibal Lecter. He's a very complicated, intriguing villain, charming, smart, probably a genius, but certainly has some components missing as a human being. The opening scene where he's first revealed. It's unlike anything I've ever seen in a movie. Jodie Foster's character, Clarice, is walking, and I think everyone remembers this, through down the hallway of the high security prison, and the way the camera pans around and just reveals him standing there in the middle of the cell, anticipating her arrival. There's something obviously incredibly creepy about it, but at the same time, there's a formality, almost a politeness to it, that he is presenting himself to greet her. I enjoy the fava bean line, but it's what he does after the fava bean that it just seemed so spontaneous and so odd that I have never in my life thought, you're talking about food or anything that you love to eat and then going, that doesn't seem, you lick your lips maybe, you go, yum, 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 fava beans, with a little Chianti, yum, 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 but not, it's a very memorable moment for sure. Fifth favorite villain is the shark from Jaws 2. The fact that after all this hubbub the first time around, the shark just, I don't know, a relative, somehow they communicated, like, this town is good eating. You got to get over there. And our friend Bill got blown up. So, there's still plenty of people to eat over there. So you should head on over. And sort of just the arrogance of that. Like, yeah, let's double down on this one town and try to eat some more people. It just doesn't seem right. There's no respect there.